Welcome back to the Nerdrotic podcast. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco as well. And this is the Nerdrotic Nooner. How is everybody? Hope you're all having a great Monday. Now, this is our regular Monday live stream where we talk about anything and everything. We mostly talk to you in the chat. And sorry I'm late. It's been a crazy morning. Mrs. Nerdrotic is out of town, so I had to do all the school drop off and getting ready for dentist appointments and all the dad duties that I have to do. So please forgive me and hope everybody is doing great. Now, we have some interesting Game of Thrones news that kind of snuck under. I didn't see a lot of sites reporting this. I don't even know if winter is coming or Watchers on the Wall. I'm going to check that now. Reported it concerning Tyrion Lannister. And you know what? And that kind of, I want to talk about Game of Thrones today. I have not talked about Game of Thrones a lot lately on this channel. It's a show I used to love dearly. I wasn't crazy about season 7. I have to admit, there were certain things I like, and there's certain things I didn't, but I mostly love the show, and I love the books. So huge fan. And yeah, so if I'd like to talk about season 8 a little bit. It looks to me that it will be coming in late April. So I think that's cool. I've heard June in the past, but there was some news actually a couple months back where they assured everybody that they would have all the episodes out prior to the Emmy deadline, which is May 31st. So if they have 6 episodes, I'm thinking that means mid-April. And that's good, but I don't know. Are people still in on Game of Thrones? Did you kind of dip out over the last couple seasons? I don't know, but I'll wait till more people come in till we talk about the Tyrion stuff. Now it is a spoiler and it'll be brief, so I'll give you a warning and you can plug your ears if you don't want to know. It's kind of surprising though. It's kind of surprising. Yeah. So hello, Penn Farm Girl, the DJD show, Mark Mignata, Doug34, who is on vacation. Lucky you. Yes, lucky you. The Bazopolis, Cato Roan, the great Cato Roan. What's up? Hail, Cato Roan. Do my Doomcock impression there. Matthew Matson, Jess Reed, David Latham. Good to see you. Mr. Roboto, Mako, Mary Ashmead and her wrench. Hello, Mary. Hope you got my Discord link. Yes, we have a Discord up. More on that later. And Barbara Gresham. I'm sorry, Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How's it going? Good morning, good afternoon. Not sure where you are. Liam Hodgetts. What's up, Liam? And we will go. Okay, so that we got a good crowd in here in the beginning. So that's good. Crystal Allen. Hello. I'm new, but I love this show. And we love new people. And we love new people in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Our whole group of channels, we have like the best chat. We have the best community, best friends. So, Truth Apocalypse, what's up? So welcome in. Yeah. And we got Mary Ashmead and Penn Farm Girl, 2 wonderful wrench ladies. I can't say wench. I can't. JD Brizobio. Sorry, JD. I just completely destroyed your last name. Brice Boys. Sorry. Tell me how to pronounce that. Canada in the house. We love Canada. Everybody says it's America's hat, but we might be Canada's pants. Just something to think about. Wrench for life. That's right. Hench for life. I saw what you did there, Penn Farm Girl. Hail to the wrenches. Yeah. So I don't know how many of you guys caught the 5+ hour live stream I did with Doomcock Saturday night, where we talked, we entered the exozone. I had the best time. That was so much fun. Now I know the woo-woo, and that's pretty much what it is. It was, UFOs and conspiracies and stuff. I know that's not for everybody. So we promise that if that's something you're not into, that we will give you fair warning. And it's nothing, excuse me, Doomcock and I are going to, excuse me. I am sorry. Yes, hail Doomcock. That's not going to take over our channels or anything. It's just something we do for fun once in a while. and we hope you all enjoy it. I have gotten a ton of good feedback on that, so thank you for any kind of feedback, good or bad. But I've heard nothing but positive, so that is great. I think that is great. I believe, Mr. Roboto, I do believe. It's because I want to believe, though. I can't say I've maybe when it comes to ghosts, I think I've seen something weird, but well, I know I've heard something weird, but I've not seen a UFO, so I don't know. I just don't know. But the exozone was. I'm going to listen to the exozone at some point. I promise. Liam Hodges. Yeah, you can take it in little pieces. It's practically as long as an audiobook. So Doomcock was gracious enough to let me on his channel, and I had the best time. So yes, hail Doomcock, and Doomcock, thank you again, my friend. That was a blast. It took me a day to get my voice isn't completely back. Sorry, I'm already coughing up a storm here, so I apologize, folks. But what's up, Rough Girl? Rough Girl is awesome. His poetry says, "Sorry I'm late, but holy crap, that's a lot of dolls." I'll let you say dolls. It's okay. I don't get upset about it. Yes, that is a lot of action figures. That is a lot of dolls. That yeah. Up here, I haven't counted. I will someday though. Please don't spoil Game of Thrones in the chat. Thank you, says Mako. Yeah, it's something Peter Dinklage said out loud. I don't know. Maybe because the show's wrapped, they don't care, or maybe just because it's Game of Thrones, people go, "It's Game of Thrones." But yeah. So when I do speak of it, I will give you full warning. And I'll also give you guys the option if you just don't flat out don't want to hear it, let me know, and I'll just hold back. We can talk about repercussions without saying what it is. I think it does. Yeah, it really. How can I say this? It really changes how I thought the book was going to end. But we all know that the book is going to end. Like Game of Thrones is textbook subverting expectations. It's how you really do it. And as Mako pointed out, it is a bit postmodern dark fantasy storytelling, but there still are character arcs. It's not like nothing matters. It's just going to end like I think George R. R. Martin really wants the book to end like if this, like how real life ends, which is a lot of times tragic, a lot of times unjust, and sometimes shit just ends. One of the best movies to do that ever was To Live and Die in L.A. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. It's a Michael Mann movie. It's great. And it's the first time I remember having my expectations subverted. So I am going to spoil To Live and Die in LA, just so you know, right now. It is an old movie. It is a great movie. So plug yours. It's got William Peterson in it and Andy Garcia. So they're two cops. One cop's dirty. They do a bunch of drug stuff, blah, blah, blah. And you're following William Peterson's character like the whole time. And now William Peterson's character dies. Now, main characters die all the time in these cop things, but it's how he died. It just happened. It wasn't like going out in a blaze of glory with music blaring or anything. It's he made one wrong turn in a house and he just got shot. It was just really just like that. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. And he got shot like, he was dead. And you're like, holy shit. And at that point, you're like, oh, this is, Andy Garcia's story. Okay, I get it. Yeah. So it's been, I think, I don't know. We all have different spoiler rules, but we can't, if we adhere to don't spoil anything ever, there would be nothing to talk about here. So, but yeah, definitely worth the watch, though. It's a good movie. Michael Mann is a great director. Of course, he directed The Great Heat, one of my favorite all-time movies. And yes. Okay. So let's get to the chat a little bit before we start. There's not a ton of news. Of course, I'm going to talk about the Klingon who does your hair. Oh my God. Yeah, that was a fun picture. And What else? Oh, and okay, so the big news this weekend, it's actually the last 2 weekends, and both times dropped on a Friday night while we were doing Friday Night Tights. Luke Cage has been canceled and Iron Fist has been canceled. And I think the majority of people thought, well, it's that happened in the comic books too. They both got canceled and they ended up doing Power Man and Iron Fist, and everybody thought, well, maybe they'll be getting together and doing that. And they insinuated that a little bit, but now it looks like that ain't happening. And I would not be surprised to hear next Friday that Gary checked deadline. A lot was leaked on Reddit. On what? On what? Doctor Who or not Doctor Who on Game of Thrones? Yes. Tons has been leaked, but I stay away from that. I'm a member of the Free Folk Reddit, but the Tyrion thing was pretty big. But I try to stay away from that now because I don't want to be spoiled. On that show, I just want to, because this might be all we're getting from Game of Thrones, folks. Like, I don't know if George is going to finish those books. But where was I? Okay. With Marvel Netflix, I think it's done, folks. And I had even forgot that we reported on this way back over the summer on a Friday Night Tights. We caught a little bit of flack for our title of our video, which was Daredevil ending after season 3 with a question mark. I will stand by that. I think it's done. Now I haven't seen I've got 3 more episodes to watch, and we're doing a Daredevil review tonight, so I'm really not going to talk about the show during. If you guys want to talk about it, that's fine. But we'll be talking about. If you want to save it, we'll be talking about it tonight. We're going to be doing an hour-long live stream talking about season 3. Jessica Jones is currently in production. Punisher is wrapped, so of course we're going to get those. But it's done after that. For Netflix to cancel one of the Marvel shows on the day their biggest Marvel show premieres, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. They are not happy with each other, Netflix and Disney, and they are direct competitors at this point. I think Netflix, as far as streaming, is light years ahead of Disney, and I don't think they feel like they need to help them. Otherwise, why would you cancel a show on the day your biggest show premieres? It makes no sense. I mean, they made this big announcement that Netflix gained 7 million subscribers in September, which is crazy. And that's when Iron Fist aired. So there might be some truth to the rumor that Iron Fist did get a lot of views and Luke Cage did get a lot of views. And I know Daredevil did. But have you guys experienced having a little trouble finding Daredevil when you go back to your Netflix? Like, I've been watching it the whole time, and usually when you're watching something and you dip out and you come back, your thing is right there. It's either in the first line. I have to search for Daredevil every time. I can't find it anywhere. It's I'll see the Defenders, I'll see Luke Cage, but I won't see Daredevil. I'm like, what the hell? So I have to search for it every time. Do you think Netflix will retain its current Marvel programming, or will it be consolidated under Disney? I think Liam Hodges, thank you. I think Kevin Feige has some control now over the television and the streaming service, and I think they're going to get rid of Jeff Loeb, who has been awful. I hate to say it, but he's been terrible. His reign has not been good on television. There's been more bad than good. I think they might import Daredevil. I think that's a possibility. They did insinuate that might not be it for Danny Rand and Luke Cage. And I honestly, their contracts are with ABC Television. They're with Disney and Marvel. So yeah, I guess they could move it over. But I don't think they're happy with Iron Fist. I don't think they're happy with they canceled Luke Cage over creative differences. I've never heard a show being canceled for creative differences. I've heard a show being canceled for low ratings. I've heard of shows being canceled because they cost too much, but not creative differences. Honestly, and who are the creative differences with? Because if ABC has a problem with the showrunner, they just replace that person. It's pretty simple. You don't cancel the show. So the creative differences must have been between ABC and Netflix and the cost of the show. I don't know how creative that is, though. My brother is in business school, and when I tell him about Nerdrotic podcast, he says, "Huh? We were talking about that in my marketing class." Oh, really? Cool. Hidden Wiki, yeah. We damn. Um, that's cool. We with Disney and Netflix, it's clear that they're going to end everything. Disney wants to pull they want everything on their streaming service. It totally makes sense. I think this is going to go further, folks. I think we're going to stop seeing physical media probably in the next few years. I think they're going to dial back making Blu-rays. They don't make the money they used to make. So yeah, it's pretty done. And also these shows aren't good. And I have to watch the rest of Daredevil. And I know I've been warning you guys about this forever, but I'm waiting for Daredevil to end to start a mini video / documentary I'm going to do on the superhero costume problem. And I'll give you a little preview here. And I'm seeing this. We can even use Titans and Marvel Netflix as examples. Now, and it's how you go about, Titans is made by DC. So Marvel Netflix is made by ABC Television. It is made by Marvel people with Marvel consultants. My biggest complaint about Marvel Netflix has been the lack of costumes, and we seem to reset every season. So for example, Iron Fist season 1, Danny ends up at the end of season 2. If it wasn't for his miraculous double fist, he would have ended up in the same place he was at the end of Defenders, at the end of season 1. He's still not completely Iron Fist. Jessica Jones, she goes through this whole character arc, battles off her abuser, beats him, kills him. At the end of season 2, has mommy issues, ends up in the same place where she did at the end of season 1. Luke Cage has a similar arc that Daredevil is going through right now. He becomes a hero, then he becomes disillusioned with it. At the end, he becomes a crime boss, which is actually something that was in a Daredevil comic when he becomes basically the kingpin of Hell's Kitchen. But again, we don't see our fully realized hero. So at the end of Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, they're all still in their origin phase. And we're 2 seasons in. What the hell? Honestly, that seems to be kind of a thing with Netflix. Even at the end of Stranger Things, which is not Marvel at all, I felt like the end of season 2, we ended up in the same place we were at the end of season 1. It just is constant tease. And I'm going to have to see how Daredevil ends. So far, I'm liking it. I'll tell you that. So far, I'm liking it. But he hasn't put on his costume yet, so we'll see. You know what? They did like Luke Cage is, Luke Cage is fine. He doesn't really need a costume. He's never really had one. And the one he had, I would love it if he wear that. I wouldn't have any problem with that at all. But Iron Fist has a great costume. And then they went as far as to put the masks on one scene, and they used the comic accurate masks, and they look good. They looked really good. Jessica Jones, of course, does not have a costume. But Jessica Jones is a different type of storytelling. And honestly, it works for one season, but the fact that they didn't introduce her relationship with Luke Cage and what happens to her in relation to the new Avengers and that storyline, which is really what makes her continually interesting. Otherwise, she's just kind of a grumpy drunk that nobody really wants to root for at all. So, and that's the problem I have. That's the problem I have with it. Now, Daredevil's always been treated better because it has better source material. So, and then we get into the movies. Now, of course, Logan, fine. Wolverine doesn't have a costume. His brand he's just as recognizable without a mask, actually more without a mask than with a mask. So that you can put that aside. But everything else, I'll just say the obvious ones. Deadpool. Why did Deadpool work? Well, Ryan Reynolds was great, but they also had a brilliant costume. Why did Iron Man work? Well, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. was great, but they had a brilliant costume. Spider-Man 1 and 2, brilliant costume. Uh, Superman, Donner Superman, brilliant costume. So you had you married a great costume with a good character, and you got a mega hit movie. Now, when you do stuff like X-Men 2, at the time it was an okay movie, but they're all walking around and in their biker leathers and stuff. And we were happy to have it, but that we never felt like we got the fully realized X-Men. The Batman costume, I've had huge problems with the Batman costume. I'd say people might argue with me on this, but Ben Affleck's Batman costume is the most accurate to the comics that we've seen so far. Um, we've had good Batman movies, but I don't know. And The Dark Knight, of course, being the best, but that's still not comic Batman. Yeah, I'm a bit of purist when it comes to that stuff. But when you see all the major comic book film hits, they had good costumes. Captain America, even in Infinity War now, it's digressed into everybody wearing like quasi versions of their costume. None of them wear masks anymore, and they're calling each other by their first name. And it just seems like Hollywood has never been comfortable with the superhero costume, and a lot of people are, and that's what makes the comic book. Otherwise, you just got a bunch of people saying they're a hero. Like I've seen, Danny Rand walking around saying he's Iron Fist, but I haven't seen an Iron Fist yet. The Gifted is the same way. It's just a bunch of people running around in shabby clothes, occasionally losing powers. Bat nipples. Yeah, we can't go to bat nipples. That was just funny. Tommelfinger, I asked you if it was okay to share it. You let me know. I loved it. It was funny as hell. I've watched it like 8 times. Tommelfinger was kind enough to accept my request during Titans review to cut Robin stabbing a guy in the dick repeatedly with a pair of scissors to the Puffy Yamiumi Teen Titans Go. And I loved your little edit at the end with the blood splat on the window. And my whole point of that was the only thing you've had leading up to Titans was a really cutesy cartoon and a really good one prior to that. So there's a generation of kids who know who the Titans are. And I'm just like thinking of my, say you had a 10-year-old and they have you're like, I got you a DC universe, kiddo. You can read some comics and of course ask my permission, but you can buy some toys and there's some shows, and they got this Teen Titan show coming up you can watch later. So a kid fires it up and he sees Robin stabbing a guy in the dick. Yeah. So I loved it. I thought Tommelfinger, that was fucking brilliant. So if you give me permission, I will share it. My only concern is I don't know. Well, it depends. If you're not monetized, it might not matter. But you got to be careful of copyright strikes with Warner Brothers. But I mean, they can't do anything for you. The only thing they would do is take your monetization. So they can't come out and get you. And it is, to me anyway, it's a parody. It's funny. So, and not all costumes work. Okay. I can cite Titans. Titans has some pretty good costumes. The Robin costume was good. The Hawk costume was good. But the Dove costume, while the costume itself looked good, the cape looked foamy to me. So, but I still love it. I love her big old goggles. Yeah, so Titans did get a couple costumes right, and then they got some woefully wrong, like Starfire. I can go on and on and on about the Starfire thing. And apparently they have heard us because at some point, she has new hair and a costume that looks way more comic accurate. Now she still should be orange, but I guess I'm asking a lot with that. But she acts nothing like Starfire. So let's get to the chat. And we'll do the Game of Thrones thing later. But if you guys just want to talk about Game of Thrones, I am totally down with that. I could do that for hours. But Tommelfinger, I did enjoy the hell out of that. Thank you so much. That was so cool. Mrs. Nerdrotic thought it was hilarious, by the way. I waited 13 episodes. I waited 13 episodes of Jessica Jones season 2 to see Hellcat. The only teaser is Trish catching a phone with her foot. That's just hurtful, says Rashid C. Right? That is Netflix in a nutshell. And I heard there's something similar at the end of Daredevil. And, at least so far, I'm liking Bullseye's story. It's it's a little bit like there's a Steve Dillon comic that came out that they're briefly doing, and I like what they're doing with the Kingpin a little bit, but yeah, I got to see it before I give my full thoughts on that. Vincent D'Onofrio is fucking awesome, man. And oh, I'm forgetting her name, but Sister Maggie is brilliant. Yeah, people love the bat nipples. Yes, they really do. Agreed on the Batfleck suit. Yeah, I like it. I think it's it's very Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns, but it's gray. Now I still have a problem. Batman should not wear freaking armor. Okay, Batman fans, can we agree on this? Batman can kick the shit out of 75 ninjas butt ass naked. He's the baddest man alive. All right, he can have his little Bat Johnson flopping around, beating the shit out of ninjas. Yeah, I agree with this. Superhero movies are deeply flawed because of the cynical nature of violence. The costumes and insanity makes it more believable. Yes, and just the over the top violence on Titans is like it's like I posted it on our website. I called it Garth Ennis's Teen Titans. That's what it felt like. Mako pointed out that the relationship between Hawk and Dove is just like the relationship with the Silk Spectre and the Night Owl in freaking Watchmen. It's the same freaking thing, right down to the performance issues. Heroes for Hire, DOD and Cloak and Dagger should only be done on film in the future. Phase 4 soft reboot. I can imagine comic book accurate heroes, hard PG-13 because they're not too dark. Yeah, Cloak and Dagger would have been great introduced within Spider-Man. I think they're Spider-Man characters. I mean, it really sucks that we don't have Spider-Man and Daredevil interacting. I love the scenes where they're like sitting on a rooftop and kind of, Daredevil's like Peter's cynical uncle, and not really the best at giving him advice, but he's there for him. And he's like the only other hero in the early days before Peter became like this Avenger and all that stuff. It was Daredevil who he talked to a lot. I don't mind the Infinity War personally. It shows how the group has gotten close, even after Civil War. I love Infinity War. Man, I wish that some of them were not like Thor's costume was okay, and we got some good Iron Man armor and Spider-Man, the Iron Spider thing. I was all right with that. I didn't mind it that much. But everybody else is in like coats and stuff. But I was rewatching that Kato, and it was just so fucking sad when I saw the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, God damn, that's probably it. That was it. I mean, well, of course we'll see him in Avengers 4, but I mean, they've supposedly taken their movie completely off the schedule. No, bat nipples or bat nips. Sorry. What's up, hunky chunky funky monkey? How's it going? Wearing costumes for the full TV season wouldn't work. No, JD, a free reality. I would not want them to wear costumes every single episode of every season. You definitely break them out at dramatic points. But they need to wear more than they do in the Netflix shows. That's not a criticism of Titans. I have many criticisms of Titans, but they're wearing the costumes enough, when they go out and fight and stuff. And that actually works for me. That's one of the few things that works for me in that show. Tommelfinger says, go ahead and share it. Will do. I will pop it in the chat here and give me a few minutes, and then I'll go ahead and share it so many people can see it. I will post it on our Facebook group. I think I did post it on our Facebook group. Thank you, Mako, for sharing our information in there. Okay, so I don't want to people to bail out. So yeah, I will wait a little while longer for the Tyrion thing. I mean, it's out there. Emergency Awesome did a video on it. Rashid says, "This is why I would love to Marvel Knights film. Start reading Spidey via the Knight storyline in the Ultimate Spider-Man costume, Daredevil, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, and Spidey. Hell yeah, all the street level superheroes. That's what I thought they were going to get, but apparently Disney had put a kibosh on Netflix getting any more heroes. So what they have is what they have. They can continue making stuff if they want to, but it's cost. But every time they order a season, it costs them money. As much as Murdoch was there for Peter Parker, he's been there for all other Marvel New York characters. Even Wolverine wanted him to be on his birthday. So many other of the X-Men. Yeah, Daredevil has made, Daredevil's been a defender, like a legit back in the early days of the real Defenders team. That was Valkyrie and Doctor Strange. My favorite team, by the way, is the Defenders, not the Avengers. Tick, Watchmen, Venture Brothers, all show with costumes that remark on how bizarre costumes are in real life and still have awesome costumes. Thank you. The Tick, oh my God, Overkill has the best costume. I love Overkill's costume. The Tick's costume is great. They really made Arthur's costume look good. I love the costumes in Watchmen. And Venture Brothers is simply one of the best shows on TV ever. Oh wow, how am I going to say this name? Bilk Rose Gold 87. Woohoo! Finally have some good enough Wi-Fi to check you out. Watching from the bath. Hey, don't drop the whatever you're watching me, and don't forget to clean behind your ears a little bit. And it's nighttime in the UK. We love the UK. We do. We are big fans. Going there. We will see you in next September. I will be doing a nooner from the UK. Oh, from Bath. Oh, I'm Bath, the town. Yeah, I've been there too. I thought he said from the Bath. So you're in Bath. I love Bath. I took a little tour of that town, and it was fun. That's hilarious. Uh, I thought he said the Bath. Ant-Man and the Wasp had a feature on costumes. It was awesome to see. They have a whole team on costume comic to screen artists. I'll have to watch that. I have yet to get that Blu-ray. Yeah, and yeah, don't drop the soap, especially in a public bath. I'm from Bath too. That's a great town. It really is. I was there for just a few hours. We were doing the tourist thing. We did like a bus tour to Stonehenge and then the Bath. Took all fucking day. All right, so you guys ready? You guys ready? Here, I'll put the. Okay, it's really 100 viewers. Smash the like button if you want to pet Gary's beard. Here, you don't have to pet my beard. My beard bites. Yes, Watchmen is a great example of serious tone with costumes. By the way, Charles Dance would make a great Mephisto. Oh, yes, he would, Rashid. Tywin Lannister. He played a demon in the film The Golden Child. I remember The Golden Child. And yes, Charles Dance would be a brilliant Mephisto. Didn't you? Oh, man, that's the disappointing thing about Netflix. It started so promising. We thought we were going to get this big world, and it just didn't happen. Kind of sucks. 2020 Las Vegas bathhouse. Hey. Or NerdCon 2020 Las Vegas bad. Is there a con in Vegas? I don't need an excuse to go to Vegas. We'll just go. We'll just go. Okay. Now I will preface this by saying this could be bullshit. It could be Peter Dinklage just saying stuff to misdirect us, which I wouldn't put past them at all, since they shot fake footage a couple of years ago to misdirect people. I have completely stayed away from Game of Thrones spoilers, including staying off one of my favorite sites in the world, the Free Folk Reddit, where we do not kneel. But the Free Folk Reddit kind of got soft lately. Gamora is green. Orange people exist. Starfire, why? Says Mr. Roboto, $2 super chat. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, is their excuse that they can't paint her orange for every episode? Because I seem to recall a show called Star Trek where they made a guy a Klingon every episode. Dinklage is a bit of a shit poster. I wouldn't put it past him. He is. So that's why, but this is why I firmly believe this, and I'm going to get it out of the way so we don't lose a ton of people. So spoiler alert, plug your ears if you don't want to know. His quote was, the question was, without giving any away, how did you feel about where Tyrion is left at the end of the series? I feel very, very, I'm trying to find the right word. I think he was given a very good conclusion. No matter what that is, death can be a great way out. Now, I had him pegged for surviving. Tyrion has been a survivor. That's his weapon. His weapon is his mind, his intellect, his tongue. But he's a little person in this dangerous, crazy world with freaking horrible, brutal people. And he's survived this long. It's disappointing to hear that. Now, if you guys have read the original outline for Game of Thrones, which I think the plot will mirror, but not be like, which is, if you read it, by the way, it reads just like, well, not as bad, but it reads like George Lucas's original script for Star Wars. It's just a layout that he sent to the publisher, and there's a love triangle involved. I won't say between who. It'd be a little disturbing if this love triangle actually did happen, but Game of Thrones does go there. But I picked him to survive, and I also picked him to survive because George R. R. Martin has stated publicly that his wife, that Tyrion is his wife's favorite character, and we can't be, killing him. I think everybody else is fair game. I do think, and I have no evidence of this or anything. I think both Daenerys and Jon will die at the end. I think Sansa will survive. I don't think it's going to be a lot. I'm trying to think. I think maybe Jorah Mormont will survive because he should have died like a million times. He's such a sad sack, a sucker. I like him. I have such a soft spot for that character. But I kind of thought Tyrion would survive. I loved him in he was in Nip Tuck. I didn't see Nip Tuck. I loved him in Elf. Say Elf one more time. Yeah. But for him to just come out and say death is a great way out, that's either a slip of the tongue or he's bullshitting us, because I think he's going to survive. But they really, the writers of the show subverted the hell out of my expectations by rushing everything at the end, which was such a disappointment. Cutting the episodes down, and then, making us wait longer, and they look beautiful. They look great, but I never watched Game of Thrones for spectacle. When they did their battles, they were earned. It took entire seasons to lead up to them. And I think they got maybe a little addicted to that, and it turned into just kind of linear storytelling towards the end, which kind of sucks. I mean, I'm still going to watch the show. But this damn Fire and Blood book that's going to come out, it's really hard for me not to buy it, but I'm not buying it. I'm standing my ground that I will not buy anything directly related to George R. R. Martin until he comes out with Wins a Winner. And Fire and Blood will be there, and I can buy it after he comes up. But I don't want to. I don't want to get what clearly is a book to appease fans. And that in itself, though, was a distraction to Wins a Winner, because he had to edit that book, and he's notoriously slow, and it sucks. And we got to remember that he wrote the first 3 books in a decent amount of time, and it's taken him 20 something years to give us 2 books that were written at the same time. By the way, they were just split. And it took him 5 years to edit Dance of Dragons. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer you invest that much time into something and it doesn't finish. But that's what happens. Ninny Muggins, a cotton-headed Ninny Muggins. That's right, Joe. And I know there's like stuff from the set and stuff. I am like want to be nowhere near that. I'm probably not even going to watch trailers. We will recap all the episodes, and that's God. We have Game of Thrones recaps that go way back, early days of our channel. Tyrion becomes the new Night King. I can see they might do that with Jon at the end of season 8. Jon's resurrection in the show was done so different than how they're going to do it in the book. So different. I mean, you guys, those of you who have read Game of Thrones, you know that every time George R. R. Martin spends time setting things up, they never happen. They never, ever happen. So they have that whole Melisandre hanging out the wall, warning Jon about daggers in the dark, and he gets stabbed. And in the books, we still don't know what the hell happened, but he probably warged into Ghost, something they did not do in the show at all, which they're going to end up regretting, I think, because that's going to be a huge part of him surviving. I think when he comes back in the show, everybody's a lot prettier. Like in the book, Tyrion's missing, half his nose. He's hideous looking. Yeah, and people are, ugly and young. Like when Jon Snow's like still a teenager, it's in the books. He's not 30. So I could see Jon Snow coming back and looking like a corpse. I think just because we know that Catelyn is or Lady Stoneheart. I think Lady Stoneheart might have something to do with bringing Jon back. They'll swing that around. She has some traveling to do that, but that would be a good resolution to her being so fucking horrible to Jon Snow when he was a kid. But again, that's an expectation that they'll probably subvert. So. Do you even care about Game of Thrones at this point? I mean, it's been so long. We had an entire year without it, and people survived. They can kill anyone, to be honest. What are our viewers going to do? Not watch the end? They can literally whatever they want. They can, Mako, but that's why we ask these questions. Do we have to? People can still care. And they know they can stop watching. They can actually stop watching. And that's the worst thing to anything is apathy. Gary, Virginia, hey, was wearing a blue body for 2 seasons as Zon on Farscape. So why no orange paint? Exactly, Chris. The problem is, I guess the argument against that is she actually had to leave the show because of that makeup. She had an allergy. But what I've heard is makeup is a lot different now. And Viking bitch can answer that question. But yeah, she had to leave because of the makeup. Love Tyrion. I want him to stay alive. He's one of my faves. Little people are the bastards in their father's eyes. Yes, they are. Bastards and broken things. I'm a big fan of those things too. Poor Mormont. He's the perfect sufferer. He is, rough girl. Oh my God, his story in the books is so horrible. He falls in love with a girl who hates it in the Bear Islands. So he tries to shower her with gifts and money, thinking it would make her happy. Goes broke. Then makes the poor judgment to sell slaves on Ned Stark's land. And we know how stoic and honorable Ned is. So Ned is supposed to execute him, so he has to bail. He shames his father. His father, who took who went up to the Night's Watch to give him Bear Island. Oh, but there's a bunch of other Mormons that are awesome that they don't put in the show. The well, you got the little one, you got the girl, but there's the she bear. They need to bring in the she bear. They had her in like I think she was like practically an extra in one episode. Uh, Julio Gonzalez says, I call bullshit on Tyrion dying too. Yeah, I think, I wouldn't put it past him. I would. I mean, it's just like, look at it related to the sports ball. GMs always lie all the time about trades and stuff like that. So they're gonna lie. They're gonna lie on Game of Thrones. They're gonna lie about plots and stuff just to misdirect us. And honestly, why not? Why the hell not? Maybe Dinklage is busy prepping for his new role. Oh shit! As Riri Williams, that'd be some good acting. I know, Bizopoulos. That's right. Wins a Winner is not even the last book. It's not even the last book. I think A Dream of Spring will be a dream, unless he's writing them both at the same time, which I don't think so, though. The wolf, yeah, the wolf comes back and sits on the throne. Ghost. If Ghost sits on the throne, I'm totally cool with that. Oh my god, I missed a super chat. Mr. Roboto, thank you for the $2 super chat. Would Walking Dead crossover well with Game of Thrones? No. I mean, no. I mean, there's both zombies. Maybe if it was like a Westworld thing. So they're all in Westworld and they're all in different simulations. Which, does anybody even doubt that Westworld's just a big simulation at this point? But I don't know, the zombies. I mean, I don't hate Walking Dead. I just stopped watching it. It got kind of I mean, walking is in the title. Just a lot of people walking. I know people love the show, but I have not watched it in like 3 seasons now. And I dipped out right around the same time I did with the comic, where I'm like, this is going nowhere. So, how do you rank Dune, Lord of the Rings, and Game of Thrones books? Of course, Kevin Sean Schoenfeld, Schoenfeld. Sorry, Kevin. How do I rank Dune, Lord of the Rings, and Game of Thrones? Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Dune, but Dune is going to overtake Game of Thrones because Game of Thrones isn't finished. And it doesn't look like it will. And yeah. But I love Lord of the Rings. Huge fan of the books. Huge fan of the movies. Love every second of them. Watch them over and over again. I've talked about it here. It's like a holiday tradition. I don't know why. I guess because the movies came out during Christmas, but right around Christmas time, I always fire up the Lord of the Rings trilogy. God, I even kind of like The Hobbit. I know they suck. I know they really suck, but I like them. What's up, CD Horde? How you doing? The commuting dead. Yeah, they need to learn how to drive. You're not missing much on The Walking Dead, though. I started watching again to see how they do Andrew Lincoln Grimes leaving the show. Yeah. Mike Cedar says Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy there is, period. End of story. Done. Yes, you are correct, sir. You are correct. Dune is very good. Dune also wasn't finished, although Herbert admitted he wrote the last 3 books just because of the money. Well, I admire his honesty. But Lord of the Rings finished well. And what's up, comics? How's it going, Comics Division? Long time no see. They are killing off Rick this season. I'm not sure how much longer the show has. I don't think it's got much longer. The ratings died. We can look at those ratings. Hang on just a second, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. Guys ever want to look at American TV ratings that are legit, you go to TV series finale. Susan turned me on to this site. And then we go Walking Dead. They give you comparative seasons, so you can compare it from the previous season. So what? There we go. Here we go. Yeah. So this is a show that used to beat Monday Night Football, used to get like 10 million people watching it. Now it's still getting a lot of people watching. I think it's because they see nearing the end, but yeah, so you used to get 10 million viewers pretty consistently. The 14th was the last episode. They have 4 million viewers, or almost 5 million viewers. So they've lost half their viewers. Now that is still much better than most shows. That's better than Better Call Saul. That beats The Expanse. That beats all kinds of shows. But when you were at 10 million and now you're at 4, that's not good. You still lost. Let's see. Okay, so their season premiere on the 7th of October was almost 50% down from the season premiere, its previous season premiere. So yeah, it's not looking good. Huh? Is that true? How's it going, Comics Division? I just saw something there. I got to see if that's true. Now, the only shows they have. Okay, so the latest news is Punisher and Jessica Jones are safe for now, and that was 2 days ago. So the only shows they've canceled are Iron Fist and Luke Cage. I am predicting by the middle of next year, they're going to cancel all the Netflix shows. The agreement is up in about a year and a half. And Netflix is in a much better position than they were a few years ago when they started this. Their original programming is doing well. The only caution I would, the only thing I would tell Netflix is the binge model. I don't know how sustainable that is. So you got to dump a bunch. Basically, you're making a blockbuster movie. Actually, yeah, the equivalent to a blockbuster movie has to come out every week. People binge it, and if it's a shitty show, it's forgotten forever in a week. Even if a show is marginal, if Luke Cage was spread out over 2 months and we were getting episodic, honestly, I don't know how well it would do with how slow it is, and it was kind of made for binging. But say they made it a little more exciting, then we'd have people talking about it for 2 months. You'd have people doing recaps on YouTube for 2 months. We have a very small reach, but like, I think we played a little bit of a part in getting the word out on Counterpart. You know, we talked about that show every week for 2 months. I never said anything negative about it. I freaking love that show, and it gets the word out there. And, you know, I didn't really believe that myself until we did Happy. And we heard from a couple of actors from Happy, and they actually they both showed up on the show and did a big interview for the last episode, and it was great. Please check it out. And it was Catherine Lafrere. And yeah, they reached out and they said people notice, like, when we talk about this stuff. So, you know, if you want some incentive to even start a channel, it's like, actors go out and, you know, they really want to know what people really think of their show. And they like you don't fully believe the you know, your entertainment media anymore. So they want to see what real people are thinking. So they look what's trending on Twitter, and then they go to YouTube and they see what people are talking about. I wouldn't put it past it at all. On some of our bigger stuff that somebody dipped in and took a actually, I know the writer of The Expanse dipped in and took a look at one of our our recaps because they tweeted at me and corrected me on something. Which is fine. I think you're right. Disney won't bring them over to the streaming service because they want to keep things family friendly. They do comics, and Kevin Feige likes to do his own thing. The only thing I could see coming over is maybe Daredevil, because that would fit in the MCU. He's got a costume, maybe, and I like Charlie Cox a lot. Jessica Jones season 3 and Punisher 2 is done almost. Yeah, Punisher's done shooting, and Jessica Jones season 3 is still shooting. So they will release those, cancel the rest, maybe turn around a season 4 Daredevil really fast enough, though. They would have to turn around fast, especially since it's been 2 years since we had Daredevil. God, I miss Daredevil. I think if CBS had their way, everything Star Trek would be off Netflix too. I agree. They're stuck with that though. And that's weird. That whole situation is weird how it's spread out, because they have a deal with CBS All Access is on Amazon, but then the international stuff is Netflix. And it seems like a lot of these companies are forced to work with Netflix internationally, because not even Amazon has their shit together on that one. Netflix has the biggest reach in the world, and I don't think streaming services are going to be able to beat them or avoid working with them. You're right about the binge model. It's exactly this that doesn't allow them to actually progress story-wise. They just reset so new viewers can hop on without missing anything. Exactly, Cato. Well said. Well said. And people will get onto them eventually. Did Happy end? No, it did not. Did I make it sound like it did? No. Happy is coming back in March. And what they're going to do is they're going to center each season around a holiday. So last season was Christmas. This season is going to be Easter. So I think I saw February or March for a start date on Happy. Happy is a fucking awesome show. If you like The Tick or Venture Brothers, you will love Happy. There are too many shows, too many video games. Also, don't forget free unlimited porn. People are overwhelmed. Something's got to break. Yeah, it's just going to turn into white noise, Mako. That's the thing, is you have to be extraordinary to stand out, and that is part of what we have been saying on this channel for many moons. That's my thing with Doctor Who. Doctor Who's got this huge brand that everybody's going to take a look at once, but if you're not extraordinary now, they're going to dip out. They're going to dip out. Same with Star Wars. Star Wars has not been extraordinary. It's been relying on its brand 100%, and they really played it safe in a time where they are competing against a Game of Thrones, a Mr. Robot. Yes, they're in direct competition with, a Netflix's Daredevil and the MCU. You can't just slap a label on something and think people are just going to show up and stay. They'll show up the first time, and maybe that's why they rethink something like the Transformers, and do the Bumblebee thing. And it forces either it to die or rethink itself. Now, people can come at me with the argument that Star Trek is doing that. No. Star Trek rethought itself in the most lazy way possible. Let's be Game of Thrones in space. Okay. High five. We're geniuses. Where's the Coke? Yes, Rough Girl. That's also a huge part of it. Great point. The counterpart actors actually communicate via Twitter, and so do the Expanse actors. That's got to be part of your gig. And the Happy, Kathleen Lafrere was very active on Twitter. Now, it doesn't always work. Bruce Campbell's like active as hell on Twitter. But yeah, it's part of your gig now. You have to read the comments. You have to, now you don't want to feed the trolls and you don't want to engage them, but you can't just like mute everybody either. You got to be open to some minor criticism. I hate how what's TCW, Ray? I'm sorry. I hate how Disney brought back TCW just to get people to subscribe to their streaming service. They're going to do a lot of stuff like that. I hate how CBS All Access rushed through a TV show called Star Trek to get everybody to subscribe to their service, and then did these shorts that were horrible to get people to subscribe early, and they're not, thankfully. Yeah, it is too bad for Doctor Who. But the Tennant days are gone, Mary Ashby. We can always rewatch the episode, but you can only rewatch things so much. I don't remember if you enjoy Rick or Morty. If you do, give Gary and His Demons a try. First episode is on YouTube. I have watched Rick and Morty. I enjoy it. I just don't actively watch it that much, but I should. I'm so like, I mean, after this, I gotta finish up Daredevil, and then I'm on a Farscape kick right now. There's other things I gotta start watching Vikings and Doctor What the Fuck exactly. Oh, the Clone Wars. Thank you, Ray. I'm sorry, Ray. Duh. Yes, they dusted off those the unfinished Clone War episodes just so people would subscribe. Uh, I hope the Clone Wars doesn't suck. I don't think it will. If Dave Filoni, I think it'll be cool. Uh, CBS asking fans to push their streaming service to Canada. No, thank you. Yes. Is it up there, or are you guys watching it on a network? It must be up there, right? Because no, I thought somebody agreed to air it up there. Correct me if I'm wrong. The short treks. Nigel, what's the Star Trek news you guys want to see? I think Random did a video. I honestly, I don't know what I was going to say about this because it's just hair. But there's also some other Star Trek news that I thought was interesting. They were talking about where'd it go? There it is. Michael Dorn says he's not interested in a cameo, and within that article, he mentions like again that none of the Next Generation cast, excuse me, has been asked back, nor will they be. This is part of the 25% different thing in my mind, but it does seem that I think before the Orville ends, we'll get some sort of a Next Generation reunion on the Orville, but not the Picard series. And it's already started. We had Jonathan Frakes direct some episodes. Marina Sirtis is going to be on the Orville this season. So don't be surprised if you see Gates McFadden, Michael Dorn, and they start bringing people on the Orville, and then we get our Next Generation reunion there. The other Star Trek news, but Michael Dorn, yeah, like he just, what is this quote? All I have to say, all we have to say, I'm speaking for all three of us now, and he's speaking for Gates and Marina. When Patrick, look at the wording of this too, or hear the wording of this. When Patrick said Jean-Luc Picard is back, he didn't say TNG is back. We weren't asked. They're not bitter at all. Yeah. The other one is this, they put hair on the Klingon. And honestly, it wasn't the hair I had the issue with. It was the makeup, the horrible, horrible makeup. Let me share this for you guys now. There we go. Now, okay. As an independent observer, okay, I freely admit I do not like Star Trek Discovery. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the feel of it. I don't like the acting. I don't like storytelling. I don't like the catering, and I don't even eat any of it. The catering sucks. It looks more like a Klingon than it did last season, But I mean, and I understand updating the makeup, but that makeup is so thin on her. And you got those of you who've watched it, you can't understand a word they are saying. Um, the Klingon language just sounds like somebody's talking with like a bunch of socks in their mouth or something. I mean, it's terrible. So I don't know if they're going to fix that problem because that's the biggest problem. Now, again, it's too the damage is so done in Star Trek Discovery. There's no way the show can rally and be good. Um, and just seeing one short trek, I think that confirms the direction they're going. What they talked about at the New York Comic Con panel confirms the direction they're going. They're doing more of the same. So yeah, we got hair now. The explanation was they shaved their heads during wartime. We know that's bullshit. So yeah, that looks pretty awful. It really does. But I mean, honestly, unless something like really new comes out, they keep spoiling their own show. That's the other thing. They keep telling us what's going on with Spock, and they feel like they need to explain everything. Um, when they feel like they need to do that, but they must be getting a shit ton of negative feedback, and then the powers that be must be forcing them to go out there and you better explain this. Um, when you have to do prequel videos or you have to explain something after your show has aired or your movie has aired, you did something wrong because you're supposed to tell everything within the damn story. We're not supposed to have to buy anything extra. But that's the way they go with this show. And honestly, it turns into a point where it's beating a dead horse. So like, yeah, unless they come out with something amazingly new, I'm just going to wait for the next short trek, which comes out the first Thursday in November, which we will be covering here. Now, there's going to be more Picard show news, but I mean, like I've said before, Akiva Goldsman being involved says all I need to know, and it's going to be a very different Picard. They keep saying that, but it's going to be multiple seasons, so we will see. Um, There was also some news that, yeah, I think I saw that in the chat too, that Kate Mulgrew wants to reprise her role as Janeway. And I'm sure they all want to reprise their roles. I don't think that's going to happen. That's a great question, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. So, how long after the war ends does season 2 take place if her hair has grown that much? Because season 1 ends like they ended the Klingon War in an episode. The Klingon War that I will remind you devastated most of the Federation's starships. Okay. Enterprise shows up, and then we do a time jump. They're going to have to do some sort of time jump unless their hair grows really fast. Didn't the Klingons always have 4 nostrils, or is that something a Drekkie would ask? Chris Persia, you know what? Honestly, I don't know how many nostrils a Klingon has. I always thought it was just 2, but I could, maybe it's the same kind of person who would ask if they have 2 assholes. That is a Drekkie question for sure. I don't ever want to know ever in my Star Trek show, unless we're going to see it in context. I don't need to know how many butts or PPs anybody has. I don't care. But the problem is Star Trek Discovery will show us in context. They will. Oh yeah, we'll be getting more Klingon sex. I think they even said that. I think they came out and said that. That looks beautiful. Talking through mud. Yes, Nigel, that's what it sounded like. It just it reminds me of the Corman Fantastic Four movie where Doctor Doom, well, they didn't have enough money to dub the Doctor Doom, and he's like, "I'll get you, Reed Richards." You know, that's what they sound like. And they opened the show with it. They opened the show. It's walk, walk. You know, I can't even do Klingon, but it sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. I like the makeup, but the fake teeth have to go, says Kato Ron. I don't like it. I don't. Yeah, okay, that might help too. The fake teeth might be part of the problem with them being able to actually say their lines. I don't know. Uh, shove your fist in your mouth and try to speak Klingon. Off the air, Mage Grey Wolf. Off the air. I don't think I can fit my fist in my mouth. I've never tried, to be honest with you, and I've been drunk a lot. I'm surprised. Maybe I have, and I just don't remember. Klingark redesign looks more a bit not like Klingon, but that's the last in the litany of things wrong with this show. So many things wrong with this show. It is, yeah, but there'll be more. There'll be a lot more. Let's get up there. We love Michael Dorn. You're right. And props to Michael Dorn for, and he was asked if he would be a cameo in it. And he'd say, no, why would I do all that makeup, especially the makeup that they're going to have to do now to come in to, what did he say? He's to come into a room and Picard going, what are you doing here? That would be it. That would be the cameo right there. Michael has moved on. There was a time I wanted a full reunion. I wanted all the captains together, and I wish they would have. It just never felt like the Next Generation era got closure, and then it screwed up the closure of the original series too. Because I love Star Trek 6. I freaking love Star Trek 6, and I thought that was a great ending. Especially after Star Trek 5, when it came out, we heard it was going to be a Star Trek 6, and where we just groaned. But then I heard Nicholas Meyer was involved, and it was fun. Picard will be living on an island being milked regularly by Data, saying that the Federation is actually evil and failed everyone, and it needs to end. Oh, Mako, you just guessed the plot of the Picard series. If you even get half of that right, I'm going to have to send you a prize. Purple Klingons. I know. Wow. Purple M effing Klingons. If the Discovery is meant to be set before Cage, then the Klingons should have looked like they did in the original series. Yeah, Ray. Apparently in the timeline, the Vulcan hello happens within a couple years after the Cage. Now that's what I looked up on the Google. So if you look up the Star Trek timeline, Cage happens. There it is, where no man has gone before. The Cage happens in 2254. The Vulcan hello happens in 2256. If you're all keeping notes at home. And they're going to use that as the basis of Spock being a little more emotional, and maybe tie that into the Red Angel mystery. Which is anybody concerned about the Red Angel mystery? Do you guys even doubt that that's Michael Burnham? There are certain mental illnesses that would allow you to watch STD. Yeah, it's called being a YouTuber. I think that should be a diagnosis. Oh man. If CBS wants to save Star Trek, right. They have to get over this 25% difference thing. They really do. Been meaning to ask Tom about that. It's 25. I mean, is like generally 25% different, or is only some things 25% different? Intellectual property law is stranger than bistro mathematics. Now, if you're all Douglas Adams fans, you know what I'm talking about. There's an actual ship that runs on restaurant math, basically, because it's so just because the math in itself is so crazy that it could actually power a ship. the physics or what, not the it's not the it's god, I'm blanking on it now, but yeah, the probability factors and stuff. And they play it all out. Like there's robots that are Italian waiters, and you have to like go through the whole thing of ordering your food and them coming out and getting your meal wrong, and that all goes into powering the ship. It's fucking genius. God damn, I love Douglas Adams. But the only thing, so intellectual property law, if Douglas Adams were still alive, he would have a ship run on the probability factor of intellectual property law. If you have to constantly send out tweets, posts, and articles to explain away your story, then you have failed telling your story. Yes, Chris Persia. Ryan Johnson, looking at you, buddy. Looking at you. They need to get a Christina Hendricks as a 7 of 9 character. See those ratings go up. They need to, as Viking bitch put it, bring in a bimbo. uh, I just I maybe okay. There's different sci-fi. There's different comic books. There's different types of fantasy, and it's taken me a long time to figure out like what I like. I always thought, well, I like what I like, and all of it's different. But there are similarities to what I like, and what I like is a fully realized world. I like world building, and I also like a sense of fun in my stuff. I like fun and thrilling. Dark is fine once in a while, but it gets boring to me. That's why I'm not into dramas, and uh, you know, and that's why like as I'm watching Farscape, I just can't believe I didn't watch the show because it's like perfect to what I like. Seasons 1 through 5 of Doctor Who is like that's the sweet spot for me. Farscape, and Firefly, and yeah, fully realized worlds. Expanse. I mean, Expanse actually is a fun show. It deals with some pretty dark stuff, but it can be really funny, and the world feels lived in and real, and it's interesting, and the characters are great. And at the core, I would take good characters over great plot any day. I mean, the Buffy plots were pretty simple. They were just good characters. What about Game of Thrones? Oh, Feisty fan. How's it going, Feisty? Uh, we talked about it earlier. I don't know if I want to talk about it again because there was a spoiler involved. I'll message you. I'll message you later. But I don't want people to dip out because I already gave the spoiler warning. But if you want to talk about anything else, like how you think it's going to end, are you? Yeah, I'm interested. Who is still into it? Are you guys still on board? What did you think of season 7? What's your overall thoughts of season 7? I have been pretty hard on it. And it's the only season I haven't rewatched. Now I own the Blu-ray because I went against everything I said on this channel and habitually bought something. But I'm gonna watch it again, and maybe I'll feel differently. But yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about it. Are you even into Game of Thrones, or is it just not your thing? Like fantasy is a tough sell. Like Dennis doesn't like it, and I understand why people that aren't into it and don't like it. It's a certain, and yeah. So and I'm not like I don't like I watched Walking Dead, but I'm not a big horror zombie guy. I like some horror stuff, but like it's got to be like just the basic good stuff that everybody else likes, like Exorcist and stuff. But I'm not really into slashers or anything like that. Um, I like when John Carpenter does something. I'll watch anything that guy puts out. I'd have to say now that time has gone on, my favorite director has really changed a lot. But I'd have to say my favorite all-time director is John Carpenter. It is. Terry Gilliam's still up there. But but as far as just like I like directors with unique visions. Like you can tell when they do something like Guillermo del Toro. Uh, Everybody's saying hi to Feisty. It's good to see Feisty. Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery will end with Mikey Spock dying and transferring her Katra into Schmuck. Schmuck. I like that, Master Cam. And this will make the Spock we know die, STD, just die. I have heard that. I believe that. That would explain her not being mentioned. Does she get like erased, or is it too painful for him to bring up? And that would literally make her, she would be making Spock. Um, Now, I didn't say the Katra thing, but at the end of our last recap, I said that something like that as a joke. I did not say it as something that would actually happen. I'm starting to believe it though, Master Cam. And I know you're like mostly joking on that, but I think there's a level of seriousness that we wouldn't be surprised with at all, right? 1 in 3 sexually active adults watch STD. Says Mike Cedar. That's funny. Vulcans were screwed around with in Star Trek Enterprise like Klingons and STD, says CD Horde. That is true. That is true. Maybe they're going to pull a Doctor Who with the Red Angels and turn out that Burnham from the future event being spread over the entire galaxy, making her Star Trek forevermore. Oh, that's what I'm afraid of. Like Burnham gets a hold of the red matter and ascends. Yeah. And then like is trying to warn herself or reach out to herself and reassure herself that she is as awesome as everybody else says she is. The end. I have not seen the set photos of Bane in Gotham season 5. I will look though. Thanks, Silhouetted Animator. Have you heard about the Pennyworth show? Oh God, really, really? We're getting a young Alfred show. Listen, Agent Carter was actually a decent show for what it was. Uh, so they're going to do it in that vein. I am so actively disinterested in seeing that. We will not cover it. I will not talk about it. I don't care. It's getting to the point where I'm going to stop watching peripheral shows until I get a freaking Batman show, because a Batman TV show would make a lot of money and everybody wants it. I can't think of somebody who, no, I don't want Batman. I want to see Alfred. Oh my God. An Alfred show. It's unbelievable. Like, where are we gonna? I mean, like, I know he's got a past, and I don't ever need to know about it. When the and most important part about this, I mean, this is such a joke, but like when he tells his stories to Batman, it's it's to teach him a lesson, and it also to remind us that this guy watching out for Batman is pretty much a badass too. Totally okay with that. Um, but yeah, but okay. I'll give you one way I'll watch out the Alfred show is Aunt Harriet. If Aunt Harriet is in it and she has to be MI6 or is it MI5? She's got to be MI6 and a badass. She'll also be a scientist. Um, and she'll teach Alfred basically everything he knows. That's the only way I'll watch it. I'm looking for those now, by the way. Main set photos. I keep on getting freaking Nolan's Bane. There we go. Oh, really? All right, guys, what do you think? I yeah. He looks like a Martin Joe. Oh, see? I'm trying to find a picture. There you go. What's the difference? Martin Joe. Martin Joe looks better. He's easily the most terrifying villain in the DC universe, and now a masked giant Bane is heading to Gotham. He is not the most terrifying villain in the. They've made him better of late. I'll give you that, but I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I usually like Gotham. I think Gotham is fun. It's a fun show for being a peripheral show. I think it's kind of wacky, and I like it. Um, but Spork is a proper name. CD Horde. I do like Spork. I like Spuck. I'm partial to Spuck, by the way. Uh, is Comrade Burnfred Axfielder here? What's up, man? What is up, everybody? Man, we got a big crowd today. You guys fucking rock. Vader without his helmet. Yeah, that you know what? You're right, Lemac. It looks more like that. You're right. You're right about me. A Mad Max series would be good, Mac Guy. Um, fucking that movie should have won Best Picture. Fury Road should have won Best Picture. Come on, just the way they made that movie, and they had a 70-year-old director out there. Oh yeah, it's Best Picture in my mind. I love the shit out of that movie, and I was so against that. That is a great example of like proof that I can change my mind. Because like, go watch the old podcast. I'm like, fuck that. No, I don't want to see Mad Max. You know, like, yeah, I was just not down with the whole Mad Max remake at all. I'm like, Tom Hardy, what? And you know, it made me a Tom Hardy fan, and completely sold me on when George Miller was going to direct the Justice League. I was totally against it. And like, I was so completely wrong. I wish he would have directed the Justice League. It would have been so fucking good. Oh my God. I was talking so much shit. The last good movie he did was about a pig. And then he came out and rocked my fucking socks. And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. All right. I'll freely admit Fury Road was great. Tom Hardy can replace Mel Gibson. There's even a little rumor. Do you guys like the theory that that's not really Mad Max? It's the kid from Road Warrior because he had the little. I love that, by the way. Fuck, I'm gonna watch that movie today. I just adore it. Is someone pumping LSD into Gary's studio? He's tripping. Am I tripping, Grady? Maybe. 100 people for a Monday. I know. I just got back from the gym and I'm a little hungry. I have not eaten today. I usually like to eat a little breakfast before I go to the gym. I did not do that because I had to drop off Junior and I was fucking late. Yeah. I'm so going to hear that from Mrs. Nerdrotic till the end of time. 10 minutes late to school. And she fucking warned me. She's like, you got to leave early. The traffic's a little bad. I'm like, I got it. It's fucking late. Oh man. There he goes. Fury Road is the shit. It should have won Best Picture. End of story. George Miller. Did he win Best Director? I can't remember. It doesn't matter because those award shows fucking suck. And except for the People's Choice Awards, which I think The Expanse is going to win, folks. I think the campaign went well. Hardy Nolan for James Bond. Yes, absolutely. I want Nolan to direct a James Bond film. I don't think he would, but I would. Yes. But we're probably going to get Julie Taymor and Idris Elba. So that's what we're probably going to get. I'd love to see more stories in that universe as long as it's done as well as Fury Road. Yes, Kato. I would love to see another movie. I wanted just one more. One more. God, I haven't even bothered to check and see if his car is out there. I don't want a model. I want like a 1/6 scale version uh, of the Interceptor. Fury Road is so good it deserved a video game. Oh wait, it has one. It does. Is it good? Comrade Birdfred Putin's Axwielder. Um, Idris Elba for everything. Yeah. So yeah, Disney. You did hear that Disney's looking for a female director for Guardians of the Galaxy. So they are. There's that. So all dudes need not apply. Thunderdome was so good. I like Grady. I do like Thunderdome. I do with even with the parts. Even I thought when I was younger with the kids were a little silly. I love the shit out of that movie. It's so good. Tina Turner was fucking awesome. Uh, I don't like that song though. So I had the soundtrack because I bought soundtracks to every movie I watched. I think a lot of us nerds did that, right? So if I even semi liked a movie, I bought the soundtrack because I needed to have something tangible. Because that was about the only tangible thing you could have with your movie back then, unless they made toys. And yeah, I heard that song. I don't ever want to hear that song again. The game is okay. Tell you what is good is that freaking Spider-Man game. You guys are right. That is good. It is a good game. Uh, Only heard good about the game. I still want Owlman show the shitty, over aggressive bullshit versions of late are indicator that this would be the best option. I still remember Total Biscuit reviewing that game. R.I.P. Total. Yes, rest in peace, Total Biscuit. God, yeah. So young. So fucking young. God damn. Yes. Yep. Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm afraid that's happening, folks. And that's not stuff we usually do around here, but I mean, it's you got to call it when you see it. And it looks like the MCU might be not fully going woke, but maybe dancing around it, dipping their toes in once in a while, which would be very bad. Best director for the job. If it's a girl, great. Awesome. Um, totally down with that. But Guardians is not something you should be messing with. It's over though. I think it's just done, and which is too bad. Brie Larson kills the Marvel universe. She might if they. I don't think they're gonna be. I think she's gonna be. Yeah, they can't. They're not gonna put it all on her. They can't. She doesn't have the star power. Um, I think they're going to keep one of the big guys around, and we'll see what happens in the future. I'm curious because it seems like they're resting a lot on Spider-Man, but they don't own him. But it seems like they might have extended the deal with Sony and just not announced it. I don't know if Tom's out there or not, but he can confirm that or not. I don't know. I do not know. Oh, the song was okay, Grady. I just can't listen to it anymore. I heard it so damn much in the 80s. It's imprinted on the inside of my brain. I'm usually not a pop guy or into pop music of any kind, but it was okay. Roseanne to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3 on Ambien. On Ambien. I really like the Mad Max game. Needed more convoy fights, though. Gotcha, Apple Crow. Uh, I bought the New Jack City soundtrack, and first Batman soundtrack with Prince was good. I remember buying the Prince soundtrack with the Batman and being surprised that they cut out most of the music because it was supposed to be. I mean, there's a lot in there, but it was supposed to be more. Uh, Comrade says Nerdrotic channel got a new original language comic book from a buddy. Hack and slash. Marry, fuck, kill sounds like a marriage guide. Hack and slash is a good comic. It is a good comic. Dave Batista not only quits Guardian 3, but Hollywood completely and has signed a multi-year deal with to return to the WWE. I heard he signed that deal, so he's done, right? Yeah, why not? I mean, honestly, that's where he's best. He's good as Drax, and he was okay in Blade Runner, but I don't see him having this big, huge acting career. Other than being like a brute side player, I don't see him being a leading man. He did a good job, though. He did a good job, but he also talked himself right out of Hollywood. You could never have enough convoys, says Battery, spelled with a 4 and a 3. I have not been watching the season of South Park. I am going to start watching because I heard that Principal Strong Woman and PC Guy had some babies. I saw that the PC babies. Am I blur? Oh God, I went blurry. Thanks. I'm not paying attention. Hang on. It's my camera. I'm still here. I'm still here. Here we go. Back. Is that better? South Park is funny. Mr. Roboto, you have a good day. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. You're awesome. I got to pull my window up just to make sure. Thank you for the 3 super chats. STD Star Trek perhaps aims to make porn. Sorry, I missed that one. I got to keep my window up. Mr. Roboto, you rock. I appreciate all you do in here. And yeah, that would actually make it, honestly, if they had more sex scenes, it would take away from the actual story. If anything that keeps them from talking to each other and advancing the plot, I am for. So if they just want to screw for an hour, go for it. Because I mean, you really can't mess up too much canon with, if they're just panting away. Well, with the Klingon sex, it sounds like cats having sex, by the way. Sex in hallways. Yeah, now see that. Now we're talking. No feelings in hallways, sex in hallways. Imagine if Disney somehow managed to own South Park one day. Ominous classic music. Bah, 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 bah. Well, Disney's going to own me someday and you, Rashid. We're going to exchange Disney dollars. School shootings has been a bit of a running joke this season. Gotta love South Park. Oh, God. Sex feelings in hallways. There you go, Truth Apocalypse. They can talk about their feelings, but they got to be going at it. Lots of biting and scratching. Yeah. Goofy bucks. Oh, that's what we have now. Apple Crow is Goofy bucks. That's what we have now. And well, this isn't woo-woo news. This is actual news. So there is going to be an asteroid passing close to our planet, pretty close. Still, like, not going to hit it, but it's the asteroid that looks like a skull. Remember when they found that one? So that one's making a close, a run really close to us very soon. Right around Halloween, actually. Sleep tight. Disney shall never have me, says Comrade Birdfed, Putin's axe wielder. No, they won't. You, my friend, will go down fighting. Brainiac is going to collect us when? Soon, I hope. Maybe they own us already, and we just don't know it. The clue is if you see a black cat in a hallway twice, #glitch. Oh, they own us. They do. Everyone screams like a cat when he gets banged by a Klingork. Dudix. Bone scales everywhere. I know, right? I would just be all, ow, ow, ow. Take that bone shit off. Disney would love to own South Park. They could open they could openly have a racist, sexist character without fear of criticism because it's a child and they didn't create it. Says the hunky chunky funky monkey. Bob Iger is the saint of sponsored content. He really is. He's bought his way into a lot of power. Bought his way into a lot of power. MICKEY, Mouse, Emperor of the World. Yes. That's Asteroid M. Thank you, Philip A. Demick. It's Night of the Comet all over again. Well, you know, I like that movie a lot, actually. Can we get a look at my computer rig sometime? We get a glimpse. We get a glimpse from your glasses. I know there's a reflection. Sure. I mean, I don't have anything. I have a Mac. I use Mac, guys, because the reason I use Mac is because I used to be a Final Cut Pro editor. So I just kind of stuck with Mac, and I never ever have problems. Now I have PCs as well. My son built me a rig, and then I ended up giving it to Logan so he can play his games on. But yeah, if you guys want to see that way, hang on. You're going to turn around. You're going to see. Well, I got one computer on, which, woo, that's trippy. That's my window. There's my reflection. There's my other computer. I have two Macs. That's my Discord computer. That's my Pete's Coffee. And yeah, that's it. That's the rig. There's not much of a rig. And a bunch of junk on my desk. I know. Sorry. I mean, like, listen, hey, I don't have a, hang on, my camera gets all messed up because the cord. Yes, I let my camera turn like I thought it was a porn mirror. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, this room, like, there's figures 360 around here. I've done a tour. I got to make sure it doesn't. It's gonna get blurry again. It's gonna get blurry again. Let's turn that off for a second. Max for the win. Yes, breaking the fourth wall. Oh, I break the fourth wall all the time, Lloyd. But here, if we go, let's see if we can go that way. There's more over there. See? And yeah, I've shown the stuff. There's some original art. That's actually a closet that I cleverly covered up. You like that? Yeah. And then I can't do Doctor Who. You can't see Doctor Who. That's up there. Well, yeah. So there is Doctor Who stuff. Right there. And my Hitchhiker vinyl. And that is just this room. So, yeah. I got to be careful, though, because we had our neighbor had a break-in 4 days ago. So I went to the gym, came home, and there's cop cars everywhere. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And this neighbor, all of our neighbors here have these big giant iron gates in front of their doors because it's San Francisco. And they had taken a crowbar and broke it in, completely trashed the house, got in and out in like a few minutes. And we have a neighbor who lives up close to us, who's home all day. He's one of those neighbors. So he's like, it's good to have him around. It's great to have a neighbor like that. He broke it up. He like went over there and tried to fight all four of them because he's kind of a nut. He looks like Ron Jeremy, by the way. And his name is Ron, which is funny. Yeah, so he broke it up, and yeah, that got us properly paranoid. Now we have plenty of security here and stuff, and I'm home a lot now. So I mean, they don't want to look for trouble here. I feel a great swell of pity for anybody that comes to this house looking for trouble. Is there anything left to collect, Gary? No. Souls. CD Horde souls. That is my next move. I'd feel claustrophobic in the room's actually kind of big. I mean, well, it's okay size for a San Francisco room. But everybody comes out at night and they fight little wars and stuff. And they think about like ways to kill me while I'm sleeping. What's your address? See? You know what? You could, if you join a Patreon, you get some of that stuff, and it's really kind of cheap. You get a what's in the box, and some of the stuff comes from these walls. Actually, yeah, I got a bag of new figures to give you guys. There's some Star Trek figures. Doctor Who? But it's a hunky chunky funky monkey. When I break in, I promise to leave the light bulb. Thank you very much. That, yeah, I'm very attached to that. Okay. But thank you for actually, if you're gonna come all the way over here and break in, just get 2 tickets so I can fly back with you and I can go visit Europe. At least I can follow my stuff. I hear Captain America is looking for a gig. Well, I hire him at the comic store. But not if it's freaking Nazi Cap, right? Comics division. Yes, the Soul Collector. Wonder Woman has been pushed to June 2020. Really? Was it supposed to come out next year? That's interesting. Let's look that up real quick. Wow. That is for real. Here we go, folks. Thank you, Silhouetted Animator. You are awesome. All right, Wonder Woman 1984 moves back 7 months to summer 2020. Warner Brothers also announces that $6 billion man is being taken off the release calendar for now. The next Wonder Woman movie has relocated to a new date. Wonder Woman 1984 will now open June 5th, 2020, the same corridor in which the first movie debuted in 2017. The sequel previously was set to open November 1st, 2019. Star Gal Gadot tweeted that news Monday. We had tremendous success releasing the first Wonder Woman film during the summer. So when we saw an opportunity to take advantage of the changing competitive landscape, we did. Warner Brothers president of domestic distribution, Jeff Goldstein, said in a statement moments after Gal Gadot tweeted, "The move lands the film exactly where it belongs. The sequel reunites Gal Gadot, blah, 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 blah." Are they going to mention why they moved it? Now, was that the spot that Guardians? I'm just going off the top of my head because I know something was taken off the schedule by Marvel. And yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere. So there's 2 ways you can look at this. You can actually take this at face value, like they really wanted that summer release date, or it's not testing well. Did you hear what they're doing with Steve Trevor? They're gonna do like a heaven can wait thing with him. So his body's gonna be occupying another body. And have you guys ever seen Heaven Can Wait uh, with Warren Beatty? So it's a quarterback who dies and he comes back. He occupies some old rich guy's body, but certain people can see him, but everybody else sees the guy's body he's occupying. Uh, that's interesting. I'm wondering if I didn't know the $6 billion man was still being made. It was supposed to be with Mark Wahlberg, right? Uh, Warner Brothers is the only studio that can make me nervous about what should be a sure thing with Patty Jenkins, Godot, and team, says Rashid. Yes. Uh, with using the sure thing analogy, and this will be a bit crass, but yeah, this is the guy going out on the date or whatever, just whatever partner. And the guy going out on a date, and the girl like in there in the car, and she looks at him. She's like, "You're getting lucky tonight, buddy." Like straight out comes out and says it, and the dude still fucks it up. Says something stupid at dinner. Um, Leaves the condom at home. I don't know. You just name it. That's Warner Brothers. That is Warner Brothers. Uh, I want Wonder Woman to be good. I am really interested to see Patty Jenkins take something on without Snyder's influence because I think she did a great job. I think the third act it got very Snyder, and I don't know if that was all her. That was also her first crack at like an action flick. She's obviously got like major talent, so I think it'll be good. Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman. I've no, yeah, the movie wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread, uh, but it's an okay movie. It's decent. It's clearly the best DC movie. Clearly. Uh yeah, fucking DC, man. I don't get it. Yeah, there's like we've had like 100 viewers like for a long time. I really appreciate that, guys. Um it's because of you in the chat. You guys are awesome. That's why. Has nothing to do with me. Uh yeah, lick that button, everybody. Mary, drive safe. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, gotta go. Hey, go do your thing. I have to, yeah, I don't have a dentist appointment. I could stay on for a little while longer. The dentist appointment is coming up though. This Hawk and Dove, Hawk telling her I can't perform tonight, maybe next year. Wow. Yeah, I went back and watched Titans again. Oh, wow, it didn't get any better. Take it easy, Mary. Gal was fantastic as Wonder Woman. She was great, comics. She's also like everything Brie Larson isn't on the press junket. She's asked all kinds of crazy political questions and she answers them perfectly every time. She knows what she's doing. And she is a real life badass because she grew up in Israel. She was in the military for a while. So, yeah. You'll you'll believe a woman can rock a one-piece bathing suit. I saw what you're doing there. I did. You got 20 minutes still? Yeah, it's about what I got. Brie Larson has all sort of experience, Gary. You don't understand how difficult life was in California. Mako, I do know how difficult her life was. She had to drive herself to go shopping. Um, the first time she bought a cell phone, she had to go and like sign up for her own service. You don't understand how hard it was. Oh my God. It's almost like DC wants to fail in the movie realm. Maybe it's a way to get a tax write off. Yeah, maybe it helps funds their TV shows. They do better in TV. Oh, thank you, Rough Girl. You rock. I know Ares has that look in the comics, but I prefer it when he appeared as an apparition to Diana. David Thewlis is so compelling. He's great. I love David Thewlis. Oh, the humanity. Yeah, Bree had to break balloons. Fucking DJD show. AHX makes well, American Horror Story makes fun of this in its last season. At the apocalypse, a Cali woman saves her hairdresser and leaves her lover to die. Oh, that is funny. That is so true. Bree is working on advanced emotion right now, Gary. She really is. Well, she is obviously more evolved than we are. Okay, so we're not. I'm not evolved yet. I love when they use evolve. I love when a 27-year-old tells me anything. I hate how weak gods are shown in American pop culture. It's freaking Ares, God of War. Should be yes. Should have a longer movie. Yes, comrade. And that the DC universe is supposed to be where they live. Now, I did like the beginning when they showed the Green Lantern and Zeus fighting. That was cool. Cool little scenes. We need more of that. I mean, that's comic book. That is comic book for me. So, quantum emotions, they're there, but we can't see them. JD, that's funny. I'm not evolved enough to notice that she was actually conveying emotion. Steppenwolf should have been more powerful in Justice League. Even Superman should have had to struggle against him. Absolutely. Don't leave me in Santa Monica traffic. Oh, it's bad. The trials and tribulations of Brie Larson. Poor Brie. Like Craig Ferguson said, acting is just pretending. Pretend harder. That's hilarious. Pretend harder. You're not pretending enough. You need to really level up on your pretending. You do. But we like these pretenders. We do. Oh man, I am freaking crazy hungry. Let's do a couple things here before we I'm gonna have to bail out on you guys, man. I'm getting freaking hungry. Starting to see shit. I really should have ate beforehand. My apologies. But I ain't going anywhere just yet. We're gonna do our wonderful Patreon video while I talk to you some more. And please hit that like button. Please do. Have a Snickers. Oh man, I should Coyote clone, but I don't eat candy. I don't. I would like to, but wasn't she in Scott Pilgrim? JD, she was in Scott Pilgrim. Brie Larson, she was good in Scott Pilgrim. I liked her in Scott Pilgrim. Um, no, it's more like her act on the press junket that I don't like. I have yet to. I mean, like honestly, I haven't seen enough in the trailer. Captain Marvel, the character that character, this brand is in the toilet right now as far as comic book fans are concerned. I'm sure the normies out there probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but what they've done to her in the comics, you're not going to be able to resurrect that. They just gave her another origin, like another one. So Yeah, it's too bad. I used to read Miss Marvel, used to like Miss Marvel, but it's gone off the chain. So, uh, but yeah, I know it's kind of short today. I'm sorry. But I will be coming back later tonight with a Daredevil season 1 review. So if you guys have seen Daredevil, please join us. By the way, here's the comic books you get at the $5 level. Here's a representation of the What's in the box that you get with the $15 level. We do have a bunch of new patrons, so I do have to I have to fix the damn video again. I haven't read it yet, Mage Grey Wolf, and I don't think I will. But I heard it's possibly, I don't know, comics. Did you hear about it? I heard it's possibly closer to the movie. I don't know. Of course you can. What, Daredevil? You guys can join whatever live stream you want. We're gonna spoil it, but we'll tell you if it's worth watching or not. But you're willing to join our streams whenever. And I've added an extra nooner, so we're getting another nooner on Wednesday, and I promise that one will be longer. I will start earlier, and I will have my lunch. But I have to take Junior to a dentist appointment as well. Otherwise, I would go longer. I could power through being hungry, but I do have to take Junior to a dentist. Nerdrotic Junior has to get his teeth cleaned. And I got to go pick him up at school. But I mean, if any big news hits, I know the Wonder Woman thing's kind of big, but not quite big enough to do a video on. I might do another video, but definitely check us tonight at 6:30 or 7 for the Daredevil season 1 review. Or 3, sorry, Daredevil season 3 review. My bad. See, I'm hungry. Please check out our Patreon. Please go to nerdrotic.com where our live schedule is right there on the right. We schedule everything out live. So our next shows will be Daredevil and then the Nooner on Wednesday. And then Friday Night Tights on Friday. And, what if some big news happens, we'll be sure to get on here. We're also on our Patreon. We're doing Expanse commentary. So the second episode's coming out in the next couple days. Pretty excited about that. In the meantime, Nigel Brutch, Savage, Ray Venkman, Mary Ashmead, Rough Girl, Rashid C, Rolo Cat, Comrade, Burnfred, Putin's Axfielder, JD Bryce Boys, Chris Persia, Liam Hodgetts, Kato Roan, Mako, Stun the Wombat. What's up, Stun the Wombat? Brian Smart, CD Horde, Grady Broyles, Penn Farm Girl, Mage Grey Wolf. There are new people up here. There's Rashid, the DJD Show, Comics Division. What's up, Comics? We need to talk. Feisty Fan, we need to talk as well, too. I need to instant message you about something. Rough Girl. Love seeing Rough Girl. And Coyote Clone. And I'm going to try to get as many people as possible. Brent Newman, the Bazopolis. A $5 super chat from Chris Persia. Grab a treat for Junior after the dental visit. Thank you, my friend. Thanks, Chris Persia. We will. It'll probably be very healthy, but we will. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Mr. Roboto, I know you bailed, but thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate that. You gave like 3 of them. Oh, and the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Thank you for warning me you're going to break into my house. That's cool. And of course, thanking the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Battery, spelled with a 4 and a 3. Matt Guy. Philip A. Demick. Apple Crow. As I go up, are we going to see anybody new? Silhouetted Animator. How could I forget the Silhouetted Animator who gave me such good news today about the Bane and his poetry? Welcome. I'm going back up. Mike Cedar. And I'm looking for anybody new. Lloyd. And that's as far up as I can go. So if I missed anybody, I do apologize. We will back for a nooner, be 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Wednesday, 6:30 or 7, depending on when I finish Daredevil tonight. With Dennis, he'll be joining me. Don't forget, Susan has a show on Midnight's Edge After Dark. It's at 5 p.m. Pacific. It's the Goddesses of Gore. It's her horror show. So I'll have a link for that in on nerdrotic.com. If you got to go check out and support our friend Susan. Also, go check out 1428elm.com. She is the editor of that website. It's horror centric, but it's also pop culture. And we love Susan. Follow me on Twitter. It's at Nerdrotics. You guys are great. This makes my day when I do this. It's kind of a bummer I had to roll out early, but we'll make up for it on the next Nooner. You guys are great. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Cheers.